Are you struggling to balance homeschool, housework, cooking, marriage, parenting, and the many other responsibilities and relationships you have in your life? Maybe you have a vision of what you want your homeschool to look like, but in the day-to-day, it's not anything like how you envision it. Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 strategies for keeping your homeschool simple, so you can balance all the responsibilities you have in your life, so that you can enjoy your homeschool and so can your children, and so that you have time for the important relationships and other things you have in your life. I'm Dana with Living Quite Simply, and I'm passionate about keeping my homeschool and other areas of my home simple, and I'm excited to share these strategies with you today. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I recommend is creating a homeschool plan. I'm not talking about planning in the sense of planning out your school year, planning out the day-to-day. I'm talking about making a detailed plan of what you want to accomplish in your homeschool in general. What type of adults do you want your children to be? What type of content is it important to you that they are proficient in? There are a number of questions that we can and should be asking when we're developing our homeschool plan. And I'm going to share a resource with you that I found a couple of years ago that was a tremendous help to me in figuring out exactly what my homeschooling plan is. It's a worksheet put together by Rainbow Resources, and I'm going to be sharing a link in the description box below. But essentially, this worksheet walks you through a number of considerations that you want to make when you are developing your homeschool plan. This really helps you to go through all the areas of your life that are going to be impacting your homeschool, and it really helps you to clearly define what it is that you're seeking in your children's education and what the needs are of your family. I highly recommend this as a great starting place to developing your homeschool plan. The second key is creating an atmosphere of learning. While we had young children, before they were actually homeschooling age, we read quite a few books on homeschooling, and many of our favorites are by Raymond Moore. And one of the books that he has is called Homeschool Burnout. If you are currently experiencing homeschool burnout, or if any of your children are, where you're feeling overwhelmed and just tired of homeschooling in general, then I highly recommend reading that book. But a key component to his teachings is that you want to avoid homeschool burnout as much as possible. And one way that you can do that is creating an atmosphere of learning rather than allocating learning to a specific time and a specific place. I do recommend finding books and toys and videos and many resources that are going to help create that atmosphere of learning, and having those things surrounding your children rather than having things that are going to be a hindrance to their creativity and to their learning. I highly recommend watching the video that my husband and I did on fun learning ideas for a homeschool, because in that video we share a lot of practical ideas, some of the resources that we use in our home to encourage learning all day long in a very fun and practical way. The third strategy for simplifying your homeschool is understanding the difference between skills-based subjects and content-based subjects. And more importantly than understanding the difference between the two is approaching them differently. So skills-based subjects are reading, writing, and arithmetic, and science after grade 5. Those are subjects that are best taught one-on-one with each individual child on their level. Now, I say one-on-one because I think that we do need to have a lot of oversight in how our children are doing in their skills-based, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be with each child as they're going through their skill-based subjects. And I think it's important, as our children are getting older and older, that we are encouraging them to become more and more independent even within these subjects. The next group of subjects are content-based subjects. History, geography, and Bible. This is a resource we use from Simply Charlotte Mason, and this is something that we all do together. And resources like this really simplify the homeschool because you bring everyone together instead of having individual studies in every subject for each child. We also have this resource, Laying Down the Rails. This is something that can be done as a family. Now, you don't need to use the resources that I'm sharing. I'm just sharing that there are resources out there that you can do as an entire family that are enjoyable and that are for these content-based subjects. Laying Down the Rails, this is a great book. This is a Simply Charlotte Mason book as well, and it's a habits handbook. So habits is essentially character development. Charlotte Mason just called them habits. She goes through tons and tons of habits in here, or character traits that you can be working on together as a family. Nature studies are another great thing to do with everyone all together. Unit studies are another great option for tying in all of the family together, incorporating everyone in one learning environment so it's less work for you as the parent, and it creates family time as well. If you're finding value in this video, please give me a thumbs up. My fourth strategy for simplifying a homeschool is balancing bookwork with industry and service. Now, this is a principle that we've gleaned from Raymond Moore, and as I said, Raymond Moore is definitely a favorite author of ours when it comes to homeschooling. Regarding the balancing of industry, service, and bookwork, Raymond Moore wrote an excellent book, Minding Your Own Business, where he talks about not just family entrepreneurship, but also home management, and it's an excellent resource for every homeschooling family. I do want to encourage you to look in the description box because anything that I'm sharing in this video, I am going to be sharing there so that you can find it. One thing that Raymond Moore really stressed was that children should be doing as much manual labor as they're doing bookwork at any given age. So manual labor would include things like the housework that needs to be done, and it will also include industry, projects that your children want to take on or that you are doing with them. Recently, for example, my husband and our second son built this beautiful chicken tractor for our chicken. This was a project that they worked on for a few days, and that was so much more valuable of an education than he probably could have received in books during that time. Our children should also be contributing to our housework, not just with chores like cleaning up after themselves, but communal jobs that need to be done. Like we should all be working on doing the dishes together or cleaning the dining room together after we've eaten. Those are things that we've all participated in, or folding clothes together. Those are things that we can all do together as a family. Now, this is something that's going to cause more work for the mother in the early years, but I really want to encourage you not to exclude your younger children from the family chores that need to be done. Younger children in particular are so eager to help. They're not helpful. Oftentimes they create more work for us than they're actually helping. That's not always the case, but that is often the case when they are very young. And I will honestly say that it takes a lot more work on the front end. But that is a time when we just really want to encourage their helpful spirit, because that spirit's going to continue to grow as they continue to feel like they're contributing to the things that need to get done. So we need to show appreciation when our younger children are trying to help, and we need to really encourage that. And also, we need to take time with all of our children to train them in the tasks that need to be done. That is such a valuable addition to our children's education. And it's also a great way to create memories together. Just earlier this week, I was working in the kitchen with my oldest son and my daughter, and we were working in the kitchen and we were just singing hymns together as we were getting things clean. And it was such a beautiful time, and I so treasure moments like that. And that's just as much part of our children's homeschool as is the bookwork. And it creates even better memories oftentimes than the bookwork does. Another part of industry that Raymond Moore really encourages is teaching the children to be entrepreneurs, and that's something that we have really encouraged in our children. It's something that my husband and I are trying to learn on our own as adults with the children as we're teaching them. But that is something really enjoyable for the children. They can set up a lemonade stand, or they can sell cards that they've made. There's a number of things that children can do as a means to become industrious for themselves, and it's important that we encourage that as their parents. This helps our children because when they go from our home in the future, they will have life skills that they can take with them anywhere. Now, on the service side of things, because we are balancing industry, bookwork, and service. On the service side of things, we want to make sure that our children have opportunities for serving others, things that they can do for others as a means just to be a blessing. And so simple things like being a blessing in the home to one another's. We will often find that one of our children has made another child's bed in the home, or they have opportunities sometimes to serve at church. Also, sending cards to individuals and participating in various ministries in the church can be great opportunities for children to participate in service. Something that we've done from time to time is we've brought trash bags on a walk and just picked up trash along the way. Obviously, you want to wear gloves when you do this, but that's just a great way to help out keeping your community clean, and it's something that children enjoy. We want to encourage our children not to just work when it's going to benefit them, but to work as a means to be a blessing to others. And the children have a lot of opportunities for character development as they're participating in service and industry. The fifth strategy for simplifying our homeschool is to encourage independent learning. One of my favorite aspects of homeschooling is the ability to individualize our children's education based on their interests, based on their talents and abilities. So in an effort to encourage independent learning, there's a number of things that we can do. First, we can provide our children with a lot of resources. We want to make sure that we understand what our children's individual needs are, and understanding what their talents and abilities are. From a very early age, you can see what your children's natural abilities are and really encourage growth in that area. Of course, we want to encourage growth in areas where our children aren't as strong, but we want to focus a lot on areas where our children are very strong, because it's very likely that our children are going to use those strengths for their future careers. And so we can provide our children with a lot of resources. We also want to teach our children how to use resources that are out there and how to find resources. So teaching them how to use a concordance, how to use a dictionary, how to use a thesaurus, teaching them what the table of contents is for and what the index is for, and helping them to utilize those to their advantage so they can independently learn things that they are interested in learning. My oldest son in particular flies through books. He can go through them so quickly, and I have a hard time keeping up with him, but he'll often let me know what kind of books he's interested in, and that gives me an opportunity to go online and search for books that are going to be of interest to him. He reads a lot of biographies. He reads a lot of books about building things and how things work, because he's very much interested in that. And I have a great time finding those books for him. I'm not telling him when to read those books. He does it because he enjoys doing it. And we really want to, as much as possible, encourage our children to be independent learners in that way. Spending less time on formal bookwork actually gives our children more time and more brain power to pursue their individual learning. Also, along the lines of encouraging independent thinking, we want to encourage our children to be free thinkers. It's important to me to have children who are able to create, to problem solve, to build, to develop, to plan, and to dream, rather than having children who are stuck doing rote memorization, multiple choice, and true or false. You know, when we're out there and we're working in the real world, we have to problem solve, we have to build, we have to create, we need to develop and plan, and things aren't as easy as true and false questions and multiple choice. We need to be able to think on our own. And as we're encouraging our children to be free thinkers and to be independent learners, we're really setting them up for success in the future as entrepreneurs and as working individuals. Well, friends, it was so nice spending time with you, and until next time, bye.